All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the Soul of the Skull post game show. We are very happy today as the Minnesota Vikings have surprisingly taken home a victory. They have started 2-0 for the first time since 2016. I don't think really anyone expected this. I saw it as a possibility,
Big
but
Lou saw this coming.
didn't think it was going to happen. Big Lou did predict that the Vikings would win this game, but again, he is Big Lou, so he always picks the Vikings. But yeah, Vikings pick up a victory today, and we got some good stuff to talk about. To our knowledge, it's just us two today, but that's okay because we will still go in depth about it. I was actually almost at this game today. I don't know if you heard about
Yeah,
that.
Sam O'Brien told me
Yeah.
about it.
So yeah, my roommate Sam was at this game with some of his family members, and they had someone that was on the fence about whether they'd be there. Had that person not been there, I was next in line. Turned out that person was able to make it work, so I stayed at home and watched on my couch. But I was happy because I got to listen to Kevin Harlan, and I really like Kevin Harlan, so it was still good. But yeah, so excellent game this was here. And so the Vikings, as can be seen, won 23-19 against a very good 49ers team. They were without Christian McCaffrey, but still a good team regardless of that. So, sorry, if you had anything, you can jump in.
I was gonna say, just to reiterate, it was a bit of a surprise. There were times where the Vikings had this game in a chokehold. It was 27. Aaron Jones was on the doorsteps of the end zone, fumbled the ball. Obviously, then a touchdown ensued. Nice drive there to get three and put the game out of reach. That 97-yard touchdown was one of the most exciting plays I've seen as a Vikings fan. Sam Darnold put that one in the bucket. He did have an interception that he threw to Fred Warner. I don't really know what he was doing there. That's kind of the Sam Darnold experience. Don't know much about Jefferson besides he hurt his quad, like everyone else saw. Yeah, I'm happy, but I've seen this story before. I know how the rest of the season's going to play out. So I don't want to get too excited. There's a big game next weekend against Houston to look forward to. But as of right now, the Vikings are 2-0 for the first time since 2016, they said.
That was what they said at the end of the broadcast, which was pretty surprising that they haven't done it. Not even in that 2017 season when they went crazy, but also, what's his name? Bradford got hurt after the first game. And then the Case Keenum experience happened. But yeah, this was an excellent game today for the Vikings. Like you said, we'll just have to see what happens in the future. Can't get too excited after this one. After last week's game, I kind of tried reiterating on this show here, like that was a great win for the Vikings. They won by 3 scores, but you also were playing the Giants, one of the worst teams in the NFL. So how much does it really mean? I thought if they go out there and prove it against the Niners, maybe that'll convince me more. They did convince me more, but with another good match against Houston next weekend, I think that'll really be more of a tale. If they can play well in that game, then I have more of a reason to believe this team is legit. But
and they get another home game too, so they get the crowd behind them.
Yeah, then they play the Packers without Jordan Love after that, so very winnable game. But
apparently his timetable's kind of been moving up. He could come back for that game, but they played the Colts. I mean, Malik Willis looked okay. Nothing. He didn't have to do anything too crazy. Josh Jacobs ran wild.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how you feel about it. Personally, for me, I would like if Jordan Love is back for that game. I'm someone that, like, I think we talked about this in person last week, or maybe I was talking to someone else about this, about how, to me, injuries are like, they're unfortunate, and I don't like beating a team because a player was hurt on the other team. Again, that kind of happened with McCaffrey today, but also the Vikings had some of their players out too, so that was kind of more of an equal battle. And but like, yeah, that's why I hope Jordan Love plays in that game, because I want to see the Vikings prove it against Jordan Love and not Malik Willis just to pick up the victory. I want to see them go out there and prove that game. You were talking about You were talking about Sam Darnold. This might be a bad comparison, maybe not. To me, Sam Darnold feels like a better Nick Mullins. Like just a little bit of is that. I think we saw that with that interception. That was definitely a bad play. He played very well today overall. He finished 17 for 26, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. He also did get sacked 3 times, but had a passer rating of 109.1. I believe he was second in the NFL, or did he lead the NFL in passer rating or something last week? In PFF grade, I think he was second to only like Patrick Mahomes.
Maybe.
Darnold went crazy last week. This week again, very well, making all the right plays outside of that one pick. That was a pretty bad play. But yeah, it did kind of feel like Mullins, but better. He put up the numbers. He led the team, but less of the bad and more of the good is what I was feeling today with Sam Darnold. I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward. And this is a great building block for him in his career and for the Vikings and where they are as a team right now. So definitely excited to see that. I think the number one story today was the Vikings defense. They played excellent today. Sacks left and right. Brock Purdy he looked pretty uncomfortable a lot. He made some very good throws though. I've always been a bit of a I'm just looking at my phone here. I got Justin Jefferson kind of update. Kevin O'Connell said that he is day to day with a just quad contusion. And Dallas Turner has a knee injury, but doesn't think it's long term. So that's kind of the latest update we've received. So that's that. But we're getting to the defense here. Yeah. Brock Purdy, I've always been kind of questionable about, is he really that good of a player? He's got this great cast around him. Is he really an elite quarterback like some people say? And I still have some questions about him, but today I guess he did make some good plays. He also did seem to be a little rattled at times too. He was 28 for 36, threw for 319, a touchdown, a pick, but he was sacked 6 times in this game, passer rating of 101.3. So that was that. Jordan Mason on the ground had 20 carries for 100 yards and a touchdown. Been playing very well without Christian McCaffrey in this offense, and he'll be doing it for at least the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, because it seemed every time he touched the ball in a toss crack play, it felt like he was getting 7-8 yards a pop. There in the first half, he slowed down in the second half. But I mean, coming into the season as a running back 3, thinking he was going to be playing special teams most of the year, Elijah Mitchell goes down with a season-ending injury. McCaffrey ends up on IR, and your first 2 games, you've gone over 100 yards. I mean, people are going to take notice of that. I mean, he's playing himself into a nice contract potentially next year whenever he ends up becoming a free agent.
Yeah. I thought that going into this game, the 49ers would just be airing the ball out left and right, just like their excellent offense. But they really, I mean, their passing attack was good, but it wasn't like everyone's putting up big numbers. Granted, Deebo Samuel had 8 catches for 110 yards. So he did play very well in this game, had some very nice catches too, especially he had a lot of high balls that he was catching them left and right. George Kittle also had 7 catches for 76 and a touchdown, but it felt like they weren't getting really that much of a rhythm during the game, other than some drives, especially at the end. But then again, at the end of the game, the Vikings were just kind of playing a shell defense to just kind of run out the clock, and they were up by 2 scores. I guess I don't know how you feel, but I felt like the Niners didn't really ever get that much of a rhythm on offense. Their 99-yard drive was very good, but outside of that, they felt to me kind of clunky, and I think a lot of that was the defense. The blitzes were really good. They didn't blitz much last week against the Giants, but they also didn't need to because the Giants weren't very good. Flores kept his secrets. It worked out, but yeah, it was excellent game, I thought, by the Vikings defense, and they did a good job containing this 49ers lethal offense.
Yeah, I mean, Pat Jones had another 2-sack game that gives him now 4 on the year. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson had 4.5 sacks today against Tampa Bay. So not the leader in sacks. But, I mean, yeah, the pressures were good. Ivan Pace, I thought, looked good at times. Nice interception there by Metellus, the Mr. Do-It-All, the Swiss Army knife. But, yeah, not much more I could say. I felt like their offense was a little bit in and out of tune. I think the blitzes or the pressures definitely had to do something with that. Um, and just shows how how huge Christian McCaffrey is because you have a guy like him that takes away a lot of the pressure on Brock Purdy, whereas he's out now these next 4 games. You're putting more pressure on him. He's got to make more plays. There were times he just felt like he had to make every single play almost as like a
Mhm.
superhero. But it's very early in the season. You're going to rebound from this, but huge early momentum for the Vikings to knock off arguably the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to say because it's still early in the year, but in my mind, I think that the Niners are past their peak. They're coming down now. And obviously, McCaffrey was out for this game, but I mean, they've been a good team for the past 3, 4 years now, like consistently in the running for Super Bowls and that kind of a thing. But I think just with all the weird off season and their players are getting older, I think they're past their peak, and I think they're starting to come down a little bit. But we'll just have to see what the rest of the season has.
I feel like this might be like the last year of strong contention, just
Yeah.
like you alluded to with age and contract issues, how much they are over the cap and all those different logistics like that. Like this is their last real chance. So I feel like the all in approach will come into play. If they feel like they can get a certain player that's going off by the trade deadline, they're going to get him. John Lynch is just going to make all the moves possible. But most
Mhm.
importantly, once they get McCaffrey back and they can just tread water, I don't know what their upcoming schedule looks like, but I feel like they're going to be favorites in every game. In every game they end up playing.
The Niners' upcoming schedule next week, they play the Rams on the road, so that'll probably be a good game. And then following that, they're at home against the New England Patriots, and then they play the Arizona Cardinals and then the Seattle Seahawks. So a lot of
The
division.
games that they're going to be favored in,
And then after that, they play the Chiefs and then the Cowboys
and they
following
would think to hopefully have McCaffrey back by then.
those. So we'll see. Also, another thing I noticed, the Vikings did have a couple turnovers, but they were good at their defense turning the ball over today. We saw the interception, the tipped interception. I think that was Josh Metellus that got that, and then the fumble pick that was from Jihad Ward too. So their defense was just going everywhere today. Players were everywhere making plays. I thought, I mean, they had some plays, but overall, I thought the Vikings secondary played pretty good today. Um, so that's good. Another thing I've noticed, unless I've been kind of missing things, I feel like Stephon Gilmore has been playing pretty well through the first 2 games of being here. So that's good addition by the team here. Aaron Jones had the bad fumble. That was a big game changer.
Looked like he was a little banged up on the sideline too. I don't know if that's anything worth.
Yeah. Vikings had a chance to put it up 3 scores, and he fumbles it right on the one. So
Yeah,
that
give
was.
credit to Fred Warner. I mean, he made 2 big plays and turning over the Vikings offense.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was that. And then as we keep looking here, just looking at the box score, Ty Chandler today had 10 carries for 82 yards. Aaron Jones had 9 carries for 32. Granted, Aaron Jones didn't quite play as well. He was also kind of banged up. I thought the Vikings rush offense overall today, very good. It's nice seeing them be able to run the ball. They made some screen passes too. This is something that we haven't been seeing last year or the year before, but they did a great job of being able to just not throw the ball every play because that's their only option. They don't have the personnel or whatever. So that, I think the addition of Aaron Jones was huge in that room. So good seeing him, good leader, good player. As we keep looking down, sorry, we're gonna say something. Okay, I couldn't tell. Maybe I was hearing a different sound. Justin Jefferson had 4 catches for 133 and a touchdown in this game. He also did get hurt though I think it was early in the fourth quarter, maybe it was later into the third quarter. He left with what we say it was, ankle? No,
Quad. If you're
quad.
talking about Jefferson, yeah, his
Yes, it is
quad.
Jefferson. I was just hoping it wasn't his what was it last year? Hamstring? Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily it wasn't. So hopefully that hopefully he can come back, but we'll be seeing updates here in the future. But yeah, Justin Jefferson played outstanding today. He was pretty consistently being double covered, or really more, but he was being bracketed, but still made it work, still made nice plays, and obviously, like you said earlier, the 97-yard bomb. That was excellent from everyone. Sam Darnold threw a beaut of a pass to him. Jefferson, and then Jalen Nailor had the nice speed too. Jalen Speedy Nailor putting down the block right at the end to ensure that he could make it in the end zone. So very good play there. As we look at the Viking defense, Blake Cashman was everywhere today. 13 tackles today. He also had a sack in this game and a pass defense. Ivan Pace had 8 tackles. So did Cam Bynum. And then Josh Metellus had 7. So that is that. Yeah, Patrick Jones, like you said, 2 sacks today, 2 sacks last week. He has been outstanding. Where has he been for the past 3 years? Finally, he's coming through on, looks like this is his 4th year, I believe. He's really coming through. I think they had a stat, I don't know if you heard this on the broadcast. He's had 4 sacks so far this season through 2 games. In like the first 45 games of his career, he had 5 sacks. So he's almost doubled his sack count in just 2 games compared to the past like 40 or 45, 50, whatever it was. So good for him. He's been playing excellent. Hopefully he can play himself into a contract. Could be with Minnesota. Maybe they can get him on like a cheap deal. Maybe he can get a bigger contract elsewhere. That would be good too. So hopefully he can keep it up. Grenard also had his first sack as a Viking. Andrew Van Ginkel also had not his first sack as a Viking, but he had a sack. He's been playing excellent. What a huge addition to the Vikings. Andrew Van Ginkel also almost had another pick too.
On the same type of screen pass, he read it perfectly again. And he made Debo catch it too, which was also clutch because it ran time off the clock. It didn't give him a chance to settle and go for another play.
Yeah, he's been a huge addition by this team so far. As we keep looking down here, who else had big? Dallas Turner didn't do a whole lot today, I guess. I didn't think so. At least he played pretty well last week. Also did get hurt at the end of the game with a knee injury, so hopefully that doesn't linger. I actually just bought a Dallas Turner jersey a couple days ago, so that'd be great if it didn't linger. But I guess we'll just have to see. Also, CJ Ham made some nice plays today. He had the blocked punt to get the first points on the board. Also threw in a couple nice blocks. Played very well today after a tough week last week. So great recovery by the pride of Duluth, Papa Ham. So yeah, 5 sacks by the Vikings today. Yeah. Will Reichard played well today too. Hasn't missed yet. Don't want to jinx it, but he's been playing well so far.
Dallas Turner obviously had the little mishap on trying to down the punt. He downed it at the 1 and then walked into the end zone. I want to say a rookie mistake, but you've also been playing football at such a high level.
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the day, we won. It's just something you can laugh about at film and a good teaching moment.
He'll learn. Matt Daniels will talk to him, and yeah, like you just said, great teaching moment. Just a simple little error. Had the right thing in mind, just couldn't execute the play. So
you can see like Ivan Pace, I think, was also down there. Like he saw Dallas Turner walking into the end zone, tried punching the ball out. So,
so that's that. I also got a notification 4 minutes ago that Marvin Harrison Jr. currently has 83 yards and 2 touchdowns through the first 7 minutes of the game.
It's 3 catches, 98 yards, and I'm going up against him in fantasy.
Ooh, I have him on my bench in one of my leagues. Didn't start him.
I had Alvin.
I had to see him prove it before I can play him. So, he's proven it. So maybe next week.
I had Alvin Kamara, so Marvin Harrison might just negate everything Kamara just did.
Yeah. Saints putting up 44 points per game up in here.
Yep.
With that said, I bet we can probably look around the rest of the NFL. So we're going to look at what other games are going on right now. With that said, I'm making a graphic for this. Around the NFL, we are going to go to the podcast thing. We can update some stuff on it. Oh, it looks like you or somebody did. So
I did.
Thank you very much for that. We have the asterisk next to Sam Z per usual. Dude put his picks in at halftime. Still isn't doing very good.
Yeah.
Him and Big Lou have the exact same picks, I think. Unless I'm missing something. I think they have the exact same picks. No, it is pick by pick.
They're the same.
A lot of us had pretty similar ones. Like, I think I said it in like the group chat. You and someone else. Who was it?
Me
Might have
and
been you and
Samo have like the same picks except the
You guys-
Denver game.
I was gonna say, yeah, you guys almost had identical ones, and then me and Big Lou were also almost identical. With like, yeah, the Vikings game was our only difference, so that'll be the same with me and Sam Z. So yeah, we look here. The Bills won on Thursday night. I thought about taking them. Needed to see them prove it though after their close victory they had in Week 1. They were able to pick up the victory. In case we haven't talked about it on the podcast before, we have made a rule: if a player doesn't have them in by kickoff, we count them red. We gave a little exception to Sam Z today because he kind of forgot about it. So it's the beginning of the season. We'll be more lenient from this point forward. No more lenience. This is cutthroat. This is Soul of the SKOL. So that was that. Yeah, I had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in fantasy. They didn't do nothing. So that was not appreciated. And yeah, one of my roommates here was going up against James Cook, so that was not boding well. Or no, he was going up against Devin Achane and someone else who was playing really well too. Imagine going up against both of them or both him and James Cook. Good for James Cook though. So that's that. I don't know if we can talk about it. I guess we might as well. It's football news. What do you think about Tua? If you were Tua, what would you do? If I was him, I'd retire.
I would say the same. Obviously, it's not up to me, though.
I mean, he's made however much money he's made playing football. It's not about the money, but like you've got a family. I think. Well, he has a family. I think he has a wife. I don't know if he has any kids or not, but like he's too prone. It's not safe for him. He should just hang it up. It was a good run. It's definitely unfortunate that it's unfolding the way it is because we all want to see him be successful, but you just gotta keep safety in mind to us. So we'll just have to see what decision he makes here. I'm gonna look up how much money he's made in his career. Just a little interesting. Justin Jefferson said he's not concerned about his thigh bruise, contusion, whatever you want to call it. He expects to be ready for next week. So that's good. Hopefully he is. All right. We are pulling up Tua. I was just a little interested to see. Career, he's made $73.4 million playing football. So we'll just have to see. He still has like quite a few years left on his contract. NFL might be able to, well, he'll get paid his guarantees if he retired. Maybe the Dolphins can like file for like an exemption or something against the cap because he's like considered unsafe to play. I don't know what the rules are with that. Maybe they can try something like that. We'll just have to see. So that's a little bit about that. We hope he can recover and whatever decision he makes is the best for him and his family and his future. As we keep looking, the Colts and the Packers played. The Packers were able to squeeze out a win even without Jordan Love. Malik Willis played. I think you touched on it a little bit earlier that he looked all right, but they were also playing the Colts, so didn't have to do much. Just kind of squeaked by with a win, but that's all they needed to do. The Bucs and the Lions played. My roommate Jaden is a Lions fan, so he was pretty sad about this one. The Bucs pulled out the win. The Jets and the Titans. The Jets won a close game. I thought about actually taking the Titans. They almost beat the Bears last week. Jets are the Jets. They're just kind of weird. They're in a weird stage right now, but they were able to squeeze out a close one against the Titans. The Raiders and the Ravens. So did the Raiders officially win that game?
Yeah, they did.
Wow. No one saw that coming. We Hoopin is probably drowning in the tears right now. Does We Hoopin' still make videos?
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I thought about that earlier. I was like, I wonder what We Hoopin' thinks about this. So, surprising game. But yeah, the Antonio Pierce Raiders and Gardner Minshew take the win. There were a lot of close games today. There were some not close ones, but overall, a lot of good ones. A lot of one-score ones, or two-scored even as well. The Commanders beat the Giants. It was also a close game in the sad NFC East. At least the bottom of the division is sad. Saints and the Cowboys. How about the Saints putting up like 44 points per game up in here? What's with that? It's because Rashid Shaheed is just catching bombs left and right.
And Alvin Kamara is reverting back to 2018 form.
Yeah, he remembered his Christmas self and then chose to be good again. So Kamara's been around a while now, I feel like. So
Yeah.
got to be getting up there. So that's that. As we keep looking around. So yeah, Cowboys, they won last week. They played the Browns and they kind of cooked them, but disappointing game here. So we'll just have to see what's up with the Cowboys. They're also a weird team where weird vibes are going on. They're kind of good, but they're also kind of not good. They have player and contract issues, so we'll see if they pull it together for the regular season or if they have a playoff collapse. We'll see. Seattle and New England played. The Seahawks won a close game over the Patriots. The Jags and the Browns played. I am absolutely disappointed in the Jaguars. I'm not going to be picking the Jaguars unless they play a bad team next week. They need to prove to me that they can win. Who do they play next week? The Jags. They play the Bills. I will not be picking the Jaguars to win that game. So, disappointment. Disappointing pick for me. Chargers and the Panthers. It was a close game for a little bit, but not really. Chargers kind of destroyed them. The Panthers are definitely the worst team in the NFL.
2-17 in the Bryce Young era.
Adam Thielen needs to get out of there. I think we said it last week, but he needs to get out now. It's over for him. If he can't get out by the trade deadline, it's over. So that's that. As we look at the games coming up here, we got the Bengals and the Chiefs. They're playing right now. It looks like Cincinnati is up midway through the first. Oh, but the Chiefs have the ball at the 3.
They just got a fourth down conversion.
Got it. Did they score or are they still?
They just got it.
Okay. So close game there. Hopefully that'll be a good one. I did not like the Cincy orange uniforms last week. Those were weird. Too much orange was going on. They thought they were like a college team. No. They have such good uniforms, but they wasted the potential. Then we got the Steelers and the Broncos that are playing as well. No score midway through the first in that game. And then the Rams and the Cardinals are also playing. Cardinals are up 14-0. Who did the Cardinals play last week? Didn't they have a close game? Keep it close for a while?
You can, if you scrolled up, you could probably find out.
Oh, that's a good idea. Cardinals. They played the Bills and almost won. Cardinals maybe aren't that bad of a team.
Jonathan Gagnon's got some fire in their guts.
He's cooking something up out in the desert. So we'll see what happens. As we look tonight, the Bears and Texans play. That should be a pretty good game. Houston's probably the better team, but we'll get a peek of them before they head to Minneapolis next week. And then to close it out tomorrow night, Kirk Cousins and the Falcons look to rebound against the Philadelphia Eagles. Kirk on Monday night. We'll have to see what happens. Probably won't end well, but you never know. So that's that. I don't think we had any predictions come off the board, really. So, yeah, not too much really happened here. We'll just have to see. Yeah, so there's our stats if anyone wants to see. We had nothing come off the board since the last episode. So it's the same numbers. That's that. We didn't have an episode this week, so that's the prediction percentage last week. It'll change after this week, so that's currently what last week's were. Me and Sam Z are in the lead for now with Big Lou 1 behind, Matt 2 games behind, and Sam O 3 games behind. So close, of course. We'll see how much this week changes things. I'm seeing a lot more red this week than last week. So a lot more upsets and unexpected games, it looks like, are happening. So, yeah. I guess unless you got more, I think that pretty much does it for this one. We'll see if we can do an episode this week. We couldn't, obviously, as you guys could see, couldn't really find a time to make it work last week. I don't know what about you. When we did that Wednesday at noon, that to me worked pretty well. I just couldn't last week because of the conflicting events going on. Otherwise, actually, I might have a UTVS meeting. Yeah, I have a UTVS meeting at 12:30 that day, but I could do it earlier, like 11 or something. I don't know. We'll talk about it. I don't know what your plans are, but I don't have any in-person classes Wednesdays, so to me that would be like the ideal day. So we'll just have to see though. Otherwise, that does it for this episode. Any closing words for the people? SKOL Vikings. This is going to be a good one next week.
Yes,
Excited
sir.
for that game. We'll get to see CJ Stroud come into Minneapolis with Stephon Diggs and Daniil Hunter. So good one on our hands. Otherwise, that does it. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. Enjoy all the football you guys are going to be watching. Peace out. As always, SKOL Vikings. We'll see you guys hopefully later this week.